Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about linguistic issue that occurred in my daily life. That is language acquisition and cultural identity among Hakka youth in Longyan, Fujian. As a native Hakka from Longyan, China, I have long witnessed a paradox. My younger siblings can understand Hakka language when spoken by elders, yet failed to express themselves fluently. When I asked my 70-year-old cousin why, she replied it's more convenient to speak Mandarin at school, and speaking Hakka makes her feel old-fashioned. This is not an isolated case. According to a 2024 survey by Longyan Education Bureau, 68% of Hakka adolescents can understand over 50% of daily Hakka conversations, but only 12% can communicate fluently in the dialect. This phenomenon of retained comprehension with diminished expression is accelerating with urbanization. In modern communities like Longyan Wanda Plaza and Longjing Lake Park, the proportion of young people using Mandarin at home has risen from 31% in 2000 to 78% in 2024, based on a tracking of 30 families. This study aims to investigate the intergenerational gap in Hakka language proficiency among Longyan youth and the impact of this partial language loss on their cultural identity. The core research questions are: how do Hakka youth in Longyan, Fujian experience and explain their ability to understand but not speak Hakka? And how does this partial language loss affect their cultural identity and their willingness to relearn the language? Previous studies provide a critical theoretical grounding. Velders proposed the language capital stratification theory in heritage language students, profiles and possibilities, indicating that bilingual's passive mystery of heritage language like understanding but not speaking creates an identity suspension state, which is evident in Longyan's Hakka youth who can evoke cultural memories through grandfathers' nursery rhymes but cannot reconstruct those memories in dialect. Norton's language ownership theory further reveals the influence of power structures. My cousins once said the monitor sounded more authoritative when hosting class meeting in Mandarin, a microcosm of what Norton refers to as the politics of language identity. On dialect deadline, Mai and Wen creatively proposed the language ecological chain concept, emphasizing that dialect attrition concomitantly caused the demise of oral cultures like folk songs and proverbs. In Longyan City, the percentage of young people able to sing the Hakka folk song dropped from 43% in 2010 to 11% in 2024, showing a significant correlation between cultural representation loss and the language proficiency decline. Yan's doctoral research through genealogical analysis found that Hakka words like 祖公 for grandfather and 伯公 for uncle carry a unique ancestor worship system, meaning language loss is essentially the fragmentation of an ethnic group's cosmology. However, some key gaps remain in existing research. 80% of Hakka studies focus on fully fluent speakers or those with complete language loss, lacking subdivision research on semi-speakers who understand but cannot speak fluently. Nationwide studies account for 76% research by CNKY search data, while only 8 micro-study target Longyan City, a Kolhaka region, and non-specialized in youth groups. Last, existing literature mostly describes what language acquisition is, rather than exploring why young people actively reject speaking the dialect, especially lacking psychological analysis of the formation mechanism of language shame. For research design, this study employs a qualitative design with narrative inquiry to explore personal experiences and identity construction. Purposive sampling will recruit 10 Hakka youth aged 18 to 25 from Longyan City, all from Hakka-speaking families, but non-fluent speakers themselves, such as my cousin, university fellow locals, covering students and young professionals. Semi-structured interview for maybe 45 minutes each will address questions like how do your family member react to your inability to speak Hakka, and have you ever felt embarrassed about not speaking the dialect, or why can you understand Hakka but not speak it? Recordings will be transcribed verbatim for inductive semantical analysis, identifying recurring themes such as family language attitudes, social pressure, and learning motivation. The data will be coded and analyzed using semantical analysis supported by basic digital tools such as spreadsheets or coding tables to ensure clarity and consistency, such as using Excel tablets. Theoretically, this study fills a gap in research on Sami language acquisition among Hakkas and enriches theories of ethnic identity by revealing the dynamic relationship between dialect proficiency and cultural belonging. Practically, findings can inform community innovations for dialect revitalization, such as parent-child language workshops, campus dialect corners, and so on, and offer family language education strategies to address the generalization linguistic gap. Notability Notably, the study has limitations. A sample size of 10 may lack diversity. Longyan's mountain dwelling culture specificity may limit generalizability to plain Hakka regions like Meizhou, Guangdong province, and a small sample size restricted to Longyan city. Potential memory or social desirability biases in self-reported data, and a lack of comparison with elder groups for longitudinal insights into intergenerational language shifts. As my younger brother once said, I understand Grandma's Hakka, but I can't finish seeing the moonlight nursery rhyme, she thought. Behind this language loss lies the fragmentation of cultural memory. This study aims to spotlight the cultural roots embedded in dialects through use narratives. Or when we discuss Hakka fluency, we fundamentally question how we engage with our ancestral cultural heritage.